A new bid is expected. A new bid is on the cards for Alexander Isak. We saw the bomber yesterday morning from Ornstein regarding Isak's desire to never kick a ball for Newcastle United again. We're delving into that story in more detail. Plus, Manchester United move closer to a deal for Carlos Baleba. A big demand, a huge demand from Ruben Amorim as well that we are going to bring to you. Plus, Eze. A bid expected from Arsenal there. The fans are demanding it. They're waiting for that bomb to drop. But could Spurs steal the march on them and land that player? Plus, we're looking at Ramsey to Newcastle, which is very close to being a completed deal. And some big exits from Manchester United as well, including Garnacho to Chelsea. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. This is the Done Deal Show. Let's get it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If you haven't hit the like button yet, get that done. Get yourself subscribing. Sorry, the arms on my t-shirt have gone a little bit funny. Get yourself subscribing. Get that bell notification turned on as well. We're taking your calls on this morning's show as well. So keep your eye out for the link appearing in the live chat because these phone-in shows, I'm so glad we brought these phone-in shows back, actually. We kind of got rid of them for a while on the we always like to, what I call circulating a bit like a farmer. You know how they'll let a field lie fallow for a few years where they're not planting seeds in it to let the nutrients grow back. We do the same thing on the terrace. You know, we'll do phone-ins for a number of years and they slow down. We're bringing them back. And I love that we brought them back. I'm really enjoying the content, your views and your opinions on this. Good morning to everyone that's tuning in, wherever you're watching from around the world. As I say, there's lots to talk about. There's lots to go into today. Good morning, Twisted Bubba. Good morning, Terrell. Hello. Daz, good morning to you, my friend. I appreciate that a lot. Morning to Whisbird. Legend. Thank you for tuning in. Absolutely. Great to see you all here. Great to see so many people here so early in the morning. Lou, we see you, Lou. Hope you're well. Hope you're well indeed. You'll never walk alone. Thank you very much as well for tuning in. Rob Ladd, big up yourself. You're a moderator now. Yes, you are a moderator now. I thought we added that last time. But good morning, Mustafa. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. You DMs me on Instagram. I'll go and check that out. I don't always see them, but I will go and have a look and I will check that out. We talk, as I said, we're going to talk Isak. Oh, you're watching. You're in South Africa. Big up yourself, my friend. Big fight this week involving Duplessis from South Africa. I'm really against Chimaev. I'm looking forward to that one. My friend, my lifelong friend, my childhood friend, Michael Venom Page is on that card as well. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. But less on UFC, more back to the football. We're talking Isak. We're talking Eze. We're talking Ramsey. I hope the Newcastle fans have arrived today. We're talking about one of your links as well. Why isn't my thing moving on the screen? It should be. There we go. I love the new graphics as well that we've got. Do you guys like the new graphics? Much better this summer, right, than last year. A lot less manually intensive for me as well. But I wanted to start with Carlos Baleba and an update from Ben Jacobs last night. Let's take a little listen to this.
At the moment, Ruben Amorim is telling his owners and Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell, go and bid now. Show a sign of ambition. Get me a ball winner. Find me an athlete in the middle of the park. And even though Brighton's position is not for sale, Manchester United are still prepared to try. And if they don't succeed, even line this one up and do all the legwork ahead of next year. So there's real substance at the moment to Carlos Baleba and Manchester United. But of course, it will all depend on Brighton.
Real substance, which is, I think, is a significant update. We live in a world now where the updates are daily and you have to listen to what's being said. You have to listen to either the encouragement or sometimes the rejection of a deal. Sometimes the deal you're hoping for or you're expecting just can't happen. And you listen to what's being said and it's played down quite quickly. But there was a few things in there that I as a United fan, like to hear. But this is where, one, I want to know what other United fans think. But I also want a bit of a census check from rivals. There is encouragement at Manchester United, which I like. I also love the fact that Ruben Amorim is pushing for this deal. I love the fact that Ruben Amorim is saying, go and get it done. Let's show some ambition. Let's throw caution to the wind. Yesterday, the Laurie Whitwells of this world were stating that United are looking at this and saying, well, kick the can down the road financially. Dean Jones yesterday said that United are prepared to blow the budget. They're prepared to worry about the ramifications of overspending later on down the line. As watching during preseason, it's hit home even more how much an athletic midfield player is needed, somebody with great availability, a person that can help transform this midfield. Now, nobody believes that Carlos Baleba alone fixes Man United's midfield and that we don't need to sign anybody else in that position in January or in the summer that's on the way. But what most people know, what most people believe, what most people feel is the truth here is United need a player of that level. And I like the fact that Ruben Amorim is pushing. I like the fact that, yes, we've been in contact with agents. Yes, we've been in contact with the powers that be. Brighton are the stumbling block, but United have not sort of given up on this. We all saw the goalkeeper briefs last night, and I will address it because I did tweet saying that the deal was on for Chelsea and Donnarumma. I spoke privately with Fabrice Hawkins yesterday because he's going to be coming on the Football Terrace later this year or the start of next summer. There's reasons why he couldn't do it earlier, but professional reasons. But he's I wouldn't say he's a friend of mine, but we speak semi-regularly and we talk. And I said, isn't it crazy that you're getting all this credit today, Fabrice, for breaking the City and Donnarumma news, but everybody simultaneously is rejecting the idea that Man United and Chelsea were making calls just the other day, which means in my world, a deal's on and active. If you're making inquiries, if you're speaking to agents, if you're reaching out to the selling club, that makes that deal on, that makes that deal active. I'm not going to yield on my own interpretation of that. But Man United and Chelsea have pulled away, and I think it's for a number of reasons. I think the salary demands turn out to be north of 300,000 a week. Equally, City have got involved, and according to L'Equipe, have agreed a deal for Donnarumma. So, of course, Man United and Chelsea are going to brief the media and go, it's not a priority. We're not interested. A goalkeeper isn't what we're looking for. We know we're looking for a goalie. We tried to loan Emi Martinez. We know Chelsea want a goalkeeper. They tried to get Mike Mignon. No real fan of that club, unless you're scared of the word rejection, is gonna do that. But that all being said, I think another one of the reasons why Man United are pulling away from other transfers is that they're putting everything into getting Baleba. Baleba has become everything for this summer. Yes, I love listen, I thought we were going to fix the attack, add a decent midfielder maybe, and a goalkeeper and say that's our summer. It appears there's been maybe not a change of plan. Maybe the plan was always to go for Baleba. We know we've been talking to him now for weeks. This isn't just a kind of flash in the pan moment for Manchester United. But that all being said, I think maybe the pre-season has refocused the mind slightly. Gone, hang on. I know we were looking at a keeper as well, and maybe that's plausible, but we have to go out here. We have to make a deal for a midfielder and one of this ilk. And we've said this before on the Football Terrace, and I'll say it again and again and again and again, because I think it is of the utmost importance, this, and I believe this to my core. We've got a little bit of a free run at him. And yes, you might get him for £10 million cheaper next summer. Yes, you might have more budget to do it next summer. But who else is going to be in for him? Will we be the biggest fish in that pond? I'm not too sure we will be. The world will want this man. So I think we should act now. On top of that, and before I go to your comments on this deal, what? Oh, okay, cool. I'm not responding to that. I just read something that's really, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was going to be interesting. It turned out to be a lot of old nonsense. It was all about crypto. But yeah, look, for me, I look at it and I think this as well. United are now very, very close to an exit of Rasmus Højlund, which I think is significant. Of course, I made a bit of a joke about it on X today, saying that it's a $59 million deal. But according to Fabrizio Romano, AC Milan keep advancing on Rasmus Højlund. They'll talks ongoing on the players' side to discuss the project as Højlund is opening the doors to AC Milan. Now, I think this is hugely significant because it was only a few days ago that he was essentially saying, I'm not going to leave. It will be a €6 million loan fee with a €45 million buy option. So not an obligation, which is disappointing, but an option to buy. So a deal in totality of €51 million plus all of his salary being covered in that time. So essentially meaning that Manchester United will get around £44 million in for the player, which will cover the costs of him. We're not going to make a profit. We're not going to make a loss, but it removes him from the books as we do want to shrink. What it will save us is his salary. What it will save us is paying out any money this year. We can reinvest that elsewhere. There's also, of course, the situation. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I'm going to come to your comment in a minute, Lou. I've just seen your comment, Lou. You can't star it on this bit of software, so I'm going to star it on this one here so I can come back to it. There's also, of course, the Garnacho situation. I think the Garnacho situation has taken a really interesting turn because it was put out this morning. Leeds United have reached an agreement in principle to sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's a bomber. And again, remember Man United fans, Lou? I know you're watching, Lou, so I just spoke to you. Do you remember when everybody was crying? Do you remember when everybody was moaning about United getting Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Do you remember the meltdowns? Do you remember the losing of the minds? Do you remember all the so-called Man United fans online ripping into the club, ripping into the manager, ripping into the project? Just because they had no patience. I remember that very clearly. He's gone to Leeds United. Shame on the Man United fans who brought shame on our club, who embarrassed our club by believing those links. When all the links were the players were offered to us. And as I said at the time, and I gave a very warped analogy, but I think it stands to reason. If you're walking down the road in Thailand, you know, and a lovely little lady boy says, do you fancy coming back to my house? And you say, no, I'm not interested. What have you done wrong? It doesn't mean you've done it. It doesn't mean you have committed the deed. It doesn't mean you have gone down that path in your life. By the way, if that's your choice, that's your preference, go for it. Knock yourself out. But you can't be ridiculed for somebody offering you something and you rejecting it. That makes sense. You know? It don't make sense. If I'm allergic to peanuts and someone goes, Terry, do you want a Snickers bar? And I say, no, I'm allergic to peanuts. My dad isn't going to ring me up and go, son, why are you eating peanuts? I didn't eat peanuts. I said, no. That's Man United fans. That's how stupid some of us are. Some of us. I said us. I put us in that same category. Weirdos, freaks, morons. But there we go. But yeah, look, as I say, from my point of view and perspective, Garnacho is edging away. It's really interesting, though, because there's obviously the news coming out that there's this midfielder, Mateus Fernandes, who's going to go for around 30 odd million. There's so many players that are not as good or don't have the profile of Garnacho who are being sold for more than what Chelsea fans think they're going to get for pay for Garnacho. Now, I stand on this. If Chelsea fans end up being right, if Chelsea fans end up getting him for 25, 30 million, Ineos have been done. That is no way going to help us sell our players for better in the future. I hope we can get more, 40 million plus some add-ons. You had that Rasmus deal in, go and get Baleba. We've got a big credit facility. You've raised 40 odd million. You're saving salary. Listen, the Rasmus Højlund and the Garnacho salary will cover what we're going to pay Baleba to pay for us. Plus you're raising 40 odd million to go and buy the player. Get it done, Manchester United. Listen to Ruben Amorim. He knows what he needs for his system. You're backing this system. You're backing someone that's rigid. And I heard something so interesting today from Marcus Rashford. And I don't know if you guys have listened to this or if you guys have seen this yet, but Rashford was talking about how who the most influential manager he's had at Man United was. And he said Van Gaal and Jose and Oli. And he was saying that what frustrated him about Jose is that Jose wouldn't care about the details of the system if they won. It was just, we won. That's all that matters. We move on. And he said it took him 6 months to get used to that because Van Gaal only cared about the system first and said, if we get the system right, the wins will come. Then we went on to Oli and it was different again. And this is he wasn't calling this out as a problem, but it's a problem I saw. This is why Man United have also failed. It's the complete 180s that we do on whatever project, whatever direction we're moving in. Imagine being this is why players like Rasmus have failed. This is why Rashford didn't keep progressing. 1 minute, you've got a manager that's regimented about system, spaces, positions, regiment. Give me the players to make it better. The next manager, don't care about any of that unless we lose. I just want to win. The next manager, more about man management, less about the system, a little bit of a hybrid of the two things, really. Then you go to Ten Hag, and we all know about that. Regimented system, abandoned it, adapted to the players, poor personal management. We need to consistently bring in managers that are similar to each other. That you get those graphs at school, you get two circles, and then you get the bit in the middle where there's the overlap. You need that overlap to be big so there is continuity. It was such an intriguing element, and again, just pulls into something most Man United fans don't speak about online, the real reason United are in the mud. But look, I'm excited about this deal. I'm still at 60-65% that Baleba will happen, but I'm really, really confident we're going to put a bid in at the very least, and then we see what happens from there. Your boy here says, new goalkeeper or Baleba? If we can only, if you're giving me a choice, one or the other, I'm going Baleba. I'm gonna have to go for Baleba on that. I'm gonna have to go for Baleba on that. Terry Mark said on the United stand this morning that, according to his information, it's not true that Rasmus isn't open to moving. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never believed it was true. Again, it was another one of those things that Man United fans melted down about, cried about. Oh, boo-hoo! Man children didn't get enough breast milk as kids. That's all I can really put it down to. That's not enough bitty from mummy, or too much, and they've been taken off of it, and they still cry now as adults because they were being breastfed till they were 12 or something. It's either too much or too little. You know what I mean? Never too much, never too. Yeah, you can have too much bitty, I'll tell you. But anyway, of course he was always open, but he was never going to say that until this point, because he can't say, oh, I'm open to leaving, and then stays and then face the fans after saying he's open to leaving. He always had to say, I want to stay and fight, in case he had to stay and fight. I never fully believed it. That's why I never lost my mind over it, Lou. Again, it was only the amoebas, only the toaster people, that have said that. Let's have a little look here. Thank you, Luke, by the way, for encouraging everybody to get that like button hit. Very important to the show, very important to the channel that people are liking the stream. Let's get this up to 1,000 likes whilst we are live, please, people. Let's get that done if you could. Yeah, no, Bitty from Little Britain. That's true. Terry, if you don't get Baleba this summer, what will happen next summer? A lot of big clubs coming in for him, the likes of Liverpool, City and Chelsea. Yeah, look, and we might do the groundwork now, Rahman, and still be okay. We might do the groundwork now and still get ourselves over the line. That is plausible. That is doable. We could also be a team that massively improves this year. So I always remember the media about, you're probably talking, it could have been the summer of 2018. It was probably the summer of 2018. Could have been the summer of 2019, actually. No. Yes, it was. It was the summer of 2019. I'm thinking about where I was living, because I remember doing the stream. I remember doing the live stream on my phone and where I was living at the time. Summer of 2019. United were interested in Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho. And the reason the deal didn't progress in that summer is the players were unsure about the direction of the club. Ollie had come in, started well, and then faded. And that summer of 2019, there was a lot of ums and ahs about the direction that we would go in. There was a significant improvement the following year, and we did become a better team. Declan Rice still wasn't convinced, but Jadon Sancho isn't open to it. Now, forget how those deals turned out, because we're a different club now with different people running us. That all being said, we could be a team that massively improves this season. We might only finish 7th, but we may be a team that's viewed as, you know what, you can see them moving in the right direction. When they add 3 or 4 more players to that team, it's really going to go to another level. Then I wouldn't be as concerned about competing against the aforementioned teams, Rahman, that you've commented about. But I don't want to take that risk, and I want to get him now. I want him now. Lou, what did you mean you made a mistake on what you said? But I think I understood it right. The thing is, I know you might have put a double negative in there, but I think it made sense to us all. I think it still made sense. Uncle Terry, if you get Baleba, do your expectations for the season change? I mean, you also have got a top striker. Look, I'd say when you say expectations change, yeah, I would probably expect a couple more wins. I would expect more goals. I would expect to concede less. I'm not predicting a top 4 finish still, because you have to look at what's ahead of us. Baleba doesn't make us better than Chelsea, better than City, better than Arsenal, better than Liverpool. There is a possibility you make top 5, but I've got to see the team play together. So what does change is I expect more wins. So I said like a minimum improvement of, say, 7. That's like my minimum expectation of 7 more wins this year. I want 30 more goals as the minimum as a team than last year. Now I look at it, if Baleba comes in and I go, well, now maybe I'm expecting 9 more wins. Now maybe I'm expecting 30 goals still, but maybe I'm expecting 5, 6, 7 less goals conceded. So it's small increases in expectations because I don't think our squad will be complete. Again, any Man United fan that's going, my team, my baller, my Baleba, we're winning the league, or we're finishing top 4, or we're winning trophies and finishing top 4. It's just guesswork. It's just guesswork for attention. Nobody truly believes that in their heart of hearts. Yeah, Terry, I made the sentence the wrong direction. Mark's information is at Rasmus. Information opposes to Romano's. You read it correctly and I wrote it incorrectly. Okay, no worries. But look, even then, I still believe he's open to leaving. But I believe that he is only publicly going to state he wants to stay and fight until the moment that he's sold, because he might have to stay. If AC Milan pull out and he's left here, he's left standing. He's left standing with his wonka in his hand, looking a bit silly because he said that he's open to leaving. Players just don't make that mistake normally. Terry, if you get Baleba, I'm predicting Man United to finish in the top 4 if the player stays healthy. That's fine for people to predict it, and we'll probably get people on the top 6 show and straight fact shows try and do that as well. So you must. At the same time, you'll turn around and say to them, well, you think we're better than Chelsea? They'll go, no. Do you think we're better than City? They'll go, no. Do you think we're better than Newcastle? They'll go, no. You're better than Arsenal? No. You're better than Liverpool? No. But yet you're predicting us. So your prediction, Rahman, who are we now better than? Who are we now better than to finish in the top 4 if we sign Baleba? You've got to name the team. You can't predict, because if people do what I call the half-hearted predictions, the half-hearted opinions, they'll say, yeah, United will make top 4. Well, who do you think they're better than? Well, I don't want to say that, because then you're really putting a strong opinion out there. And people don't like to do that, in my opinion. So I know you might not avoid it, but a lot of YouTubers do now. That's why the industry's dying. That's why there's only a handful of good content creators left. It's all mouth. Try and get people onto specifics, and they shy away like little babies. Oh, why are you trying to clip me up? Why are you trying to clip me? Why are you trying to clip me? No one's trying to clip you. I'm trying to get an opinion out of you, mate. Yeah, we're going to clip the opinion up, but isn't that what you're on the internet talking about football for? For your opinions to be shown to the world. Don't put that one out. Why? Because you don't really mean it, and you're scared that if it goes wrong, you'll look silly. Well, don't say it then. I get people messaging me all the time. Terry, can you take that clip down that KJ's put up of me? No, we're not taking it down. We're not taking it down. Staying up there. You said it. You know what I mean? It's a football opinion. You said it. Deal with it. Back to me. I don't know if he has. He's thinking now. He's thinking, isn't he? Exactly, Terry. They moved the goalpost when it's United. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. It will be that. People won't want to name the teams we're better than, but will also predict us to be in the top 4. I think what they'll do is they will predict us being in the top 4 so that they can say we underachieved if we don't make it. But do you actually believe we're going to make it in the top 4? You've got to give a full and rounded opinion. Brighton want more money than Caicedo. How can United afford him? Darren, you've just got to go and read some of the articles in The Athletic, my friend. But essentially, we've got a massive credit facility worth over 300 million. Even if it was 150 million, what that would cost Man United year 1 is 30 million pound. We're going to get between 30 and 40 for Garnacho. So first year payment's done. So it's affordable. It's just got to work. It's just got to work. I love this comment. I'm going to put it up. So, Terry, you're happy for people on your channel to take abuse over opinions, and Terry? No, but I'm not responsible for that. So, for instance, Ramble, if you write that comment now, and then somebody DMs me and says, I saw Rumble's comment. I agree. I think that you're a scumbag, Terry. I'm going to come and beat you up. I don't blame you, Rumble. You leaving the comment that sparks somebody else to behave terribly is not your fault. I will never blame you. Staffy and me give each other banter online. When I get DMs from people that don't like me, that are reacting to what Staffy said, going, you're a fraud, you've been outed, you're this, you're that, and the other. When people do YouTube videos reacting to Staffy bantering me as a friend, and they spend an hour slagging me off, their viewers start giving me bullshit, that's not Staffy's fault. So equally, if somebody comes on and says, Man United are going to come third, and they're going to finish above Arsenal, and we put that clip out, anyone who abuses that person is not the responsibility of the Football Terrace. It's that person giving out the abuse. Because we're just putting someone's honest football opinion out there. If someone is getting the abuse and they want it removed, we'll have a different conversation. But if they're just like, oh no, I don't want that opinion going out there, Terry. Why? Oh, because people might not like it. Well, then don't come on and give opinions, or don't say things you don't mean. Because from my point of view, I don't care what people say about my footballing opinions. I want to be challenged on my footballing opinions. People start getting personal. That's a very different matter. But equally, I am not responsible for what trolls online say or do on another platform because of an opinion somebody else has given. I don't blame people when it happens to me. I'm not accepting responsibility in the other way. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. Absolutely none. There is no accountability for the people giving out the abuse. It's, Robbie shouldn't have put the clip out. Well, most of us don't know. When someone says that to me, when someone says, Terry, I think United are coming top four, and we challenge them and we dig deeper and they break down why, I'm putting a clip out. It's a really good bit of content. I love what they've said. I love the confidence. If then some wanker online attacks him, it's not my fault. It's not his fault. It's the wanker's fault. And if you don't live your life like that, I feel sorry for you, my friend. I feel really sorry for you. I really, really do. Very, very sorry for you indeed. What we need to do is start holding the abusers and the trolls accountable, not the people giving opinions. But we do it the other way around, which is so weird and so warped. That way you let the abusers and the trolls win. I'm not going to play that game. I'm not playing that game. Yes, I'm watching the Super Cup tonight. We'll be live after that match. Moving on slightly from this story, we're going to be taking calls. I'm going to put the link in now. So we're going to take calls on Baleba. We're taking calls on all the subjects you can see in our title today. Let me just get the thing up on my screen. Why is it not working? Oh, move, please. Let me put the link in here. There we go. The link's now pinned into our live chat if you want to call in and you want to have your say. Now, moving on from this topic, I wanted to speak about the situation with Eze this morning before we get on to Isak, because the amount of Arsenal fans that have DM'd me in the last few days, and by the way, I don't blame Arsenal for this. Some of them have been quite abusive. Terry, you said that we were going to sign Eze. I said, yeah, my personal opinion is you were. I still believe you're more likely than Tottenham. But again, just because Spurs have now entered the race and I'm getting abuse from people, Mr. Rumble, that's not Arsenal or Tottenham's fault for changing direction or not getting a deal done. It's the person giving me abuse. Just want to put that out there for some consistency in this. But I've had a lot of gooners reach out, God, Terry, man, what's my team going to do? Are we going to bid? What do you reckon is going to happen? And there is this big expectation of a bid that is required, a massive expectation of a bid that is required, that is needed, that is going to come from Arsenal for Eze. And I have to be honest with you, I cannot for the life of me imagine a situation where this doesn't happen. I can't for the life of me envisage a situation where Arsenal allow this deal to go through. I can't. It doesn't compute in my mind. Tottenham landing an amazing player over them when they still have holes in their team. A player that Arsenal have been linked to for many, many years. A player who it's already been fairly well publicized and shared this summer, has a desire to join Arsenal. I cannot for a singular second imagine they don't bid. So I do agree with a lot of the Arsenal fans that were in my comment section. that Arsenal will be making a move of some sort. And I think Arsenal have to make a move. I think Arsenal have no choice but to make a move. I think Arsenal cannot sit on their hands. There's a comment here from Ronnie that says, is Eze worth 60 million? Yes. Yes. Just yes. I don't even think it's a debate. I don't even think it is something that's a debatable point. He is massively worth that amount of money. Hugely worth that amount of money. This guy scores. This guy assists. This guy creates opportunities. He's amazing in the transition. And I think what's very interesting about Arsenal's targets this summer is they have purchased a number of players. Gyökeres being one, Madueke being another. And now obviously you're looking at the potential of Eze. Players that are brilliant in the transition. An area of their team, an area of Arsenal's attack that was lacking last year, that had problems last year. And I think from me and from my point of view, like I've said already, if Spurs get him, this could be transformative. Okay, cool. I've got sent a WhatsApp that I wanted to look at. Like I sort of look at it and think to myself, okay, one sec. I had to just do something in the chat. Sorry, people. So from my point of view, it changes Tottenham's season. It changes Tottenham's direction. It makes Tottenham such a better team to have Eze in their side. Now, I know it's unfortunate that James Maddison has picked up the injury that he's got, and I would never wish that on anybody. But from a footballing perspective, they might now get better. They may now get better. And, you know, sometimes players have got to grasp these opportunities. Paul Scholes would probably always have made it at Manchester United, most likely. But what was the reason Scholes got opportunities earlier than expected? Well, he got those opportunities because Eric Cantona kicked a racist in the face and was banned. Scholes actually started off by playing as a bit of a striker for us in his early days. But that gave him that first team exposure, and the rest is history. Who knows if Cantona doesn't get sent off? Maybe we get the opportunity to buy a really good midfield player and Fergie goes for it and Scholes don't get game time. Now, that's not provable, but you've got to grasp these opportunities when they arise. You've just got to go for them. You've just got to take them. Had certain Yamal's amazing, and he probably would have broken to the first team anyway. But had some of the other signings and wide players at Barcelona have been killing it, delivering, smashing it, maybe the opportunity wouldn't have arisen. And you've got to take these. And Eze will grasp and move to Tottenham with both hands. And I think that's a big reason why Arsenal cannot allow this. And I understand completely and utterly why there is this big expectation and there is this big push from Arsenal fans to say, get a bid done, get a bid in. Please don't allow Spurs to get this player, because I think it would be a massive mistake, a huge mistake, and a devastating one. Eze could just be that final piece. I still think they need two players, a left winger as well, but it looks like they're not going to do that. And maybe we're all going to be shocked by Madueke this season. Maybe Eze plays out there as well, and we actually go, fair enough, they don't need it. Maybe the scouting has been that good, and we'll all hold our hands up as football fans and go, we were wrong. But I think Eze is a must for Arsenal. And I'm not trying to take him away from Tottenham, because I'm not. I'm just pointing out what's been said this morning and what is kind of going on. James here says, hypothetical, Terry, for Man United, Baleba or Eze? Baleba. It's not even debatable. I really rate Eze. And if we'd have signed him instead of a Cunha or instead of an Mbumo, I wouldn't be crying, by the way. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be fuming. I'd be still very happy. But what we really need is a player that sits in a deeper role and in a deeper position. It's very, very important indeed that we do that. Very, very important indeed. You need it through with it. You made me check saying that. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Eze's release clause is expiring in 2 days. I hope he stays at Palace. We need depth, and Glasner is a top manager. Our European season starts next Thursday. Wow, it's so quick at the turnaround as well, isn't it, for the European stuff? But look, I kind of hope he stays at Palace for Palace fans. I know a lot of Palace fans living where I do now. and they're desperate to keep him. He actually lives where my son plays football. I'm not going to say where he lives because then you know some of my locations. But he lives not far from where I am, Eze. And yeah, I think it would be great from a United fan perspective. Arsenal not getting stronger, Tottenham not getting stronger is only a good thing. It's only a positive thing. Is only something that benefits me and benefits Manchester United. But from my point of view and perspective, I still think he goes to Arsenal. I still think what we're going to get, this is how I imagine this going. Spurs advance a little bit more. I think they might even submit a bid. And then what I think we see, what I then think happens is Arsenal come in, match the bid or better the bid, and the player chooses them. I think it might be a little bit Caicedo-esque, but Arsenal being Chelsea in this circumstance and Spurs being the other way. Arsenal might bid first and then Spurs may go in. I'll remember another story that I remember sharing, and it got absolute ridicule, was, you know, Spurs tried to get Gabriel Jesus. And I remember Arsenal fans go, no, they're not, Terry, stop saying that. The same journalist that you're all quoting going, we've got him, is the same guy that spread that news, that put out that news as well. So yeah, very good chance. But I think Arsenal get him personally. And I know that's not what Spurs fans want to hear, but I just think they do. Gerald L here says, they're very disheartened by our transfer window. Was so excited at the end of the season, but now I'm pretty concerned. It's like having 100K for a new car and coming back with a broken down Japoli. Are you an Arsenal fan? You can't be that disappointed. I mean, you've got Zubamendi and Gyökeres. You're comparing that to a Japoli. Come on now. You've got to break that down for us. You have got to break that down for us. Come on now, my friend. We need more information. We need more than that. I need to understand here, because I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused by your comment there, my friend. I am. What's this saying here? Let's have a look at some more of your comments here. I'm an Arsenal fan. The only needle mover is Gyökeres. You don't think Zubamendi is a top player? Wow. Wow. Shocked by that. Didn't Palace get the Europa League after their... No, they got rejected, my friend. They're in the Conference League. I can see why Spurs need and want Eze, but it's a question of how many games is he going to get at both clubs. But a team who thinks he will, and what team he thinks will win more silverware. Just come home, Eze. Big up, Tez. Look, I think you've got to remember, if Spurs and Arsenal have decent seasons, you're looking between 60 and 70 games. You're looking at 5 substitutions per matches. He's going to get game time. And he is good enough to bench every single player at both clubs in their position. This man can bench. He can bench Odegaard. He could bench a fit Kulusevski, a fit Maddison. He could bench a fit Martinelli. He could bench a fit Trossard, who's probably going to leave, by the way. He could bench Madueke. The only player who's probably not benching is Saka. But everybody else, he can and is likely to bench. He's better than them. He's better than them. He's much better than them. Much better than them. Off topic, if they can redo Carrington, surely they can redo Old Trafford. It's not as simple as that. It isn't as simple as that, because it's to do with, they've actually got to buy land to do the new stadium. There's an element of where do we go when the new stadium is being built, as an example. Because what we're doing, we're not just building a new stadium like Spurs did on the same site, which they were what, a year or so away from their ground. We may have to do that. This isn't a new stadium you could do over the course of a new stand you could do over the course of the summer. This is a regeneration of the entire area that Man United obviously are paying for our own part, but it's in massive conjunction with the council and the local authority. So the whole area is being redone. It's going to take 4 or 5. Man United can't not play at home at our actual stadium, our actual ground, and be paying rent somewhere else for 4 or 5 years. So I do get your point. I understand why people don't want don't want to leave. I've always been of the mind of this. If we knock down Old Trafford today and built a brand new stadium that looks different, it doesn't matter to me if it's on the exact same site or 100, 200 meters away. I get it's different for Chelsea because Chelsea have some elements where they have an ex-player. I want to say it's a player. They've got an ex-player whose ashes, not their actual body, but their ashes are buried under the penalty spot. So there is something a little more sacred about their football pitch. If, for instance, Man United had Samat Busby buried under the pitch, his ashes, that is, not his body, I wouldn't want it to be moved. There's something more symbolic about that. But if you knocked it down and if you look at Old Trafford now compared to when Fergie arrived, it doesn't look like the same stadium. It's not the same. Nothing about it is the same. It's completely and utterly changed. So that element doesn't matter to me too much. But great comment. Let's have a look at some more super chats. Then we're talking Isak. 3,200 in the chat. Get the like button here. Thank you, Luke Skywalker, for encouraging everybody to do that, my friend. It means a great deal to me, my friend, that you're encouraging everyone to do it. This here says... Here we go. As an Arsenal fan, I have a lot of respect for what United are doing this window. Would not be shocked if you will win the Premier League in 2 years. Look, if Amorim's system starts to click and we do get Baleba, if we then have 3 summers that are exactly the same, where we go out and buy this level of quality and they work, and of course I'm talking different positions for the toaster people, there's always a chance. If next year you sign 4 more players of this level, but 2 more midfielders and a goalkeeper, and maybe 5 and fullback or a centre back. The next year you buy another centre back, a new fullback, and another new midfielder. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. If you have a team that are full of Baleba's ability in multiple positions, you've always got a chance of winning the league. I believe 5th is within reach. 4 teams are clearly ahead of us, but we have a fighting chance of 5th. It's a really good point for Man United. There is a fighting chance of 5th. What I said yesterday, actually, when I was streaming with Mark on 11 a.m. on our show, is I think for me, what's important to remember is we don't know this yet. I haven't watched their preseason games. What could also help, we might be 7 places better and jump up to 8th in the league. But you also might find that teams that were 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th last year, they could get worse. Therefore, you're not better than they were last season, but you could be better than they are this season. So you've also got that to contend with as well. That's hard to call at this stage because I haven't seen them play. People these days don't have any balls, bunch of sissies. I say, Terry, any way to do you actually think we get Baleba this window? Listen, people are sissies. And even the people are sissies, they're always trying to blame the wrong people. I've had people do it to me before, but they've quote tweeted me, other YouTubers, calling me out for something. I've quote tweeted back responding. They've had abuse for their opinion. And I get DMs, why'd you quote tweet me, man? You've got such a big following. It's not fair. Look at your followers are doing to me. I don't know who follows me. By and large, I don't respond for them. It's not my fault. Don't tweet me then. You can't, don't act like a baby. Call them out. It's not my fault. I didn't abuse you. In fact, you abused me. I look at it this way, right? Maybe I'm of a different generation. If me and you, Vass, we're out. We're bowling down the street. We meet up with some more friends. We're all out. We're having a good time. I don't know why we're walking like this, but we are walking down the road, just chilling. If some bloke walks over, Vass, and hits you, and then I hit him and knock him out, fair enough, legality-wise, it's a bit of a mess. But on a moral level, if his friends go, oh, why'd you hit my friend? He didn't deserve that. We'd all go, yes, he did. So if you go around abusing people online or making up fake opinions for attention, don't cry at the attention you get. Maybe just don't do it. Right? That's part and parcel of it. So the first is that if you're going to give out a load of shit, you're also going to take a lot of shit back. That being said, doesn't make what I did right. I probably shouldn't have hit him back. I'll probably get in trouble, and I can take that. But people take no responsibility for their part in the situations as well. That's what I think is really intriguing. But equally, I wouldn't say I'm at fault for that. You know what I mean? If you're defending someone, that's not an issue. But yeah, there we go. That's just my view. But when it comes to the trolls online, if you're giving your opinions online, there are going to be trolls that give you shit. It is not my fault that someone's seen your opinion on my channel and is giving you crap. I can't control who watches my content within reason. I block people online when I see them giving abuse. That's as much as I can do. But you can't, YouTube, you can't block anyone from. You can block them from leaving comments. And I only have about 4 or 5 people we do that to. But I can't block them from watching. And as you know, by watching my comments, loads of people watch my channel that don't like me. There are some YouTubers that literally spend, I'd say on average, about 5 hours a week just watching my content so they can react to it. And then they give me shit or you shit because you gave an opinion on it. I can't control that. There's nothing I can do. So I'm not taking responsibility for it. Off topic, I've already done that one. No team outplayed Amorim last season. 21 is coming. Well, that's not true. I wish that was, but it ain't true. It isn't true. Alexander Isak. Look, I want to speak about Alexander Isak for a moment because Fabrizio Romano yesterday said that a new bid is expected. He threw in the caveat, if Newcastle give Liverpool the encouragement they need. That sentence is starting to grate on me. So he's for sale at the right price. We know this. Newcastle have already given the encouragement by saying, if you bid this, the deal's going to get done. But we know what's holding this up more than the bid. Newcastle haven't found a replacement yet. They are very close, though, by the way, to Ramsey from Aston Villa, who doesn't have a great deal of output last year, but I really like him. I think he's a really good signing. Really solid signing for Newcastle. Really good player. They've got a goalie now. They've got a centre-back now. There's another player that's about to come in. I kept on seeing Newcastle fans tweet that he rejected Man United. I'd never heard of him. So maybe he did reject it. I don't know. But I can take it on the chin. I'm not going to cry. It's just not going to react. But a really good signing for them. But it's the striker element. And that's the only thing that's going to slow this deal down. But a new bid from Liverpool is expected, and that's been published by so many different journalists in the last few days. They're all caveating it with when Newcastle show encouragement. But Liverpool are just not backing away from this deal. They're pushing for this deal. Isak is still pushing for this deal. No one can guarantee a new bid will be accepted. But I think if anyone believes it isn't going to be one, it's crazy. I also don't think Liverpool would do this to the player. I don't think Liverpool would. I think if Liverpool were not going to bid, I think if Liverpool were going to shut this down, if they were not going to bid, if this deal was going to die, I think they'd tell Isak now, say, listen, mate, it's just no way. Get yourself reintegrated. Go back with your towel between your legs, knock on the door, sleep on the couch for a few nights, maybe have a couple of oddies, couple of gins, loosen her up a bit. You might get back in the good books of your wife, right? Because this is the thing with Newcastle. I will say it's the Newcastle fans. I know you're all like, we're burning his shirt. We hate him. Do you remember when City fans did that with Tevez? Do you remember? In fact, City fans met with United fans and they burnt shirts together. That was the famous Aguero season. And as much as Aguero's goal stole the limelight, it stole the limelight. It was the maybe the most famous goal in Premier League football history. Unfortunately for me as a United fan, it probably is. But people forget that the ostracized Carlos Tevez was brought back because they were struggling to win games. And he came back and was winning them games. And I always remember at the time, I remember being at Old Trafford for a game and United were playing after City played. And we were watching it I was in the Bishop Blades watching it. And I remember saying, it pissed me off. And some old head in there just went, they've sold their souls. Look at them, they've sold their souls. And at the time, I sort of believed him. The older I've got, we'd all sell our souls in this way. City fans didn't want to see him kick a ball again. But as soon as he came back and was helping them win games that led to them winning the league title, they suddenly forgot about the shirt burning, the refusal to play, the refusal to come off the bench. And that will also happen if Isak stays at Newcastle. As soon as he scores a goal, right, does that. This is the badge. The Newcastle fans go, oh, he loves us again. Oh, Isak, love you. It will happen. Every single Geordie. Oh, he didn't mean it. He's changed. It sounds like little Mo from EastEnders. He's changed. He's not like it anymore. He won't do it again. It will happen. It will happen. You can bet your bottom dollar, my old mucker. You can take it to the bank. Oh, Alex, we love you. They'll be singing their ABBA songs. That's because it's Sweden, if you don't get that reference. You know what I mean? The winner takes it all. Isak. I don't know. I can't think of anything that rhymes with it. I'm not very good at those things. But yeah, they'll be buzzing. By the way, I can't do a Geordie accent, so that's why I'm speaking like that. They'll love it. They'll be on it. And we're all like that, by the way. Every single one of us is like that. If Garnacho comes back into the Man United squad, we'll all be a bit annoyed. But if we're in a big game, Manchester derby, a few weeks into the season, Garnacho comes on and scores a goal to win it, you will hear, Viva Garnacho! It'll come, because football fans are fickle as fuck. All of them. Every single one of us, including moi. We're all like it. So Newcastle fans go, no, we won't do that. We're built different. Yeah. If you notice that every football fan base thinks they're built different from another. Football fans are what I call, or not what I call, there's a phrase, and I think I coined once, right? Because I think it's about people by and large. Football fans are uniquely generic. They all think they have this uniqueness, but in reality, they're not that different from one another. And you might be different from another fan base. Oh, we're very different from them, but there'll be another fan base that is like you. None of us are as unique as we think we are. But we all sort of think, our songs are so much better than everybody else's songs, aren't they? Oh, our kits are so much better. Our history, well, some people's history is better, but you get my point, right? Everybody thinks their club is the best thing. It's like people's kids. Everybody thinks their kids are the most beautiful, wonderful children in the world. The point is, all kids are fucking little shits. That's just a fact of life. They're all horrible. All the parents, I had children, my life changed forever. It's the best thing I ever did. Liar. You've had nights just like me where you've contemplated jumping out the window when it's the fifth time they woke up for a bottle, the sixth time you changed their nappy and it's exploded everywhere and you haven't slept for 4 days. No one's sitting there going, oh, isn't this lovely? This is exactly what I had a baby for. Now, listen, I do love my kids. They are great. I love them. I would never get rid of them, right? But they're annoying. At least, admit it. Football fans are the same. Well, my club, it's just perfect. It isn't, is it? But anyway, I digress. On that one. But yeah, do I think a new bid's coming? Yes, I keep getting asked that question every day. Is it coming? The reporters keep saying the same thing. Yes, there's the caveat. But the caveat of when Newcastle encourage them to, that is the same by a transfer journalist when they say, as of right now, this deal won't happen. As of right now, United are not doing this. As of right now, this isn't happening. As of right now, I am eating some toast. That doesn't mean I'm going to be eating toast in an hour's time. And that's very much the same thing for me. Very much the same thing. Let's have a little look. We're going to go to some calls in a minute. Beside the players already leaving this season, who else would you want and why? And not Onana. We all want him out. Who else do I see want leaving? But I wouldn't mind Cass going because I think that Baleba coming in will limit Cass's game time. I'd love to get the wages off the books. Even if we're not replacing somebody straight away with Cass's wages going, you could save that money over the course of a year and buy someone next year. It's a lot of money. It's the better part of 15 million quid that you would save from him going. That's a lot of money. So that's what I'd like. That's what I would like to do. Right, we're going to go to some calls. We're going to take your calls on the show today. Casemiro with a C. David, are you a toaster person? Take his toaster away now. He's going to burn. He's going to at least burn his fingers, if not burn the house down. Toaster person here. Who's cat? It's like, do you reckon? What kind of season do you reckon Mo had this year? Who's Mo? Who's Mo? Mohamed Salah. Yeah, it's just what's going on now? How do you think Bakayo's going to get on this year? Who? Bukayo Saka. That's not a good one. That's his full first name. But I'm trying to think of another. Who else can we do? How do you think Will's going to get on the back this year at Arsenal? Who's Will? William Saliba. Come on now. Come on. I'm only joking, by the way. Don't cry. But why are Man City not interested? Why is Man City not on the interested clubs mentioned for Donnarumma? Because I ain't updated it. Sorry, mate. Sorry, bruv. Sorry, Mile, mate. I'm actually gonna. Yeah, sorry, brother. Sorry, mate. Let you down there. Let me add it in. Let me add it in. Let me add City. Let me type in City. I'm gonna put high interest. In fact, I'm gonna put everybody else into low interest now because everyone's changed it. I didn't think about changing that. Sorry, mate. It's all updated now, bruv. Hope that appeases you. Oh, hello, Ash. I know you're not saying hello to me on my channel, but hello. Hello, hello. Terry, I've never heard anyone call him Cass. What's hello? No, gets called Cass every day. Now, sorry, what? Yeah, do you know what? Yeah. Swivel on that. Not literally. It's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Johnny Cass. Was that Burning Ring of Fire? Is that Johnny Cash? Burns. Yeah, that's the only Johnny Cash song. That's not. Johnny Cash is one of those singers. That's the song of his I know is his. Johnny Cash is one of those artists. I don't listen to him. It's not like my music, but he's one of those artists that you hear loads of songs. You go, who's this? That's Johnny Cash. Oh, who's that? You know a lot of his songs, but you don't know they're his songs. That shows you. I think that shows you a great artist when you know their songs, but you don't know they're their songs. That shows your levels. Calls. Who's going on first? Who am I picking first? I'm going to get KMACK on first to show today. Oh, that's very loud. I have that loud so I can listen to music without putting it over my head. And then sometimes I forget. By the way, this chair is making me look really fat. They're not love handles. That's the chair. I keep looking at it going, oh my God, I've got so fat. That is the chair. Look, it's not me. Because I've got a black. If I push the t-shirt in, it still looks the same. Do you know what I mean? I am a bit overweight, but I was like, oh my God, the love. I was like, look at the muffin top. Look at the muffin top. It's not a muffin top. It's the chair. It's the chair. It's the support. It's the lumbar support. Terry, up for rattling the chat. I'm here for it. I don't know how. No more black t-shirts on streams. Thanks, Lou. Thanks for damaging my self-esteem. Thank you. Cruel lady. I mean, joking. Right, KMACK. What you saying, brother? How are you?
Can you hear my mic?
Perfect, my bro. What do you want to say, my friend?
Give me a striker from Sweden. That's the one, mate.
Yeah, listen. How confident are you? How confident are you? This new bid's going to go in, mate.
Well, it's the Fabrizio Romano tweet which happened yesterday, isn't it? It's as planned. Liverpool were going to put an offer in August, and they talked about it in July. So it looks like this was the plan all along, to unsettle the player, watch the player make his move, as in out of his own house for a start, and basically tell the club that he's not going to play for them again. And now it's a case of Liverpool are probably going to get him on a better deal, probably save a load of money as well, to be fair. They're not paying 150. They're not paying 150.
You don't think it'll go that? How high do you think it will go?
Look, I've got to be completely honest. Like, I've said this on a number of channels as well. He's not worth 150 million when he's at Newcastle. That's just a fact. Like, nobody pays 150 million pound for a player that's in a club that finished fifth. That's just how it is. Like, they're not a Champions League winning club. They're not a club that challenges for anything really. Okay, yeah, they won a Carabao Cup. So what? Like, so many other teams have won Carabao Cups. That doesn't put you on a level where your striker's worth 150 million. It just doesn't. And just look at it. Just look at it as a whole perspective of this season and this year. Nobody has spent 110 million cash on a player in the world. That's what we offered Newcastle. For me, I think that's a great deal. Got to be honest, they paid what, 62 million total for him, and they're getting 110 million up front, not installments, not add-ons. It was 110 million straight cash. If Liverpool up the bid to about 125, I think it's done.
125, you think it gets? That's
I think it gets
listen,
done.
I think 120. What I would say is he doesn't have a great deal of pedigree in the Champions League, so there is that element to go in there.
True.
But he is a very consistent goal scorer in the hardest league in the world. So he is worth that 110, that 120 minimum for me. I do think that. Do you think you'll get it done? Do you think you'll get it over the line, or do you think you'll be wearing the white and black of Newcastle next year?
Mate, if we don't get it done, and he still does the strike thing, and he doesn't go back and he doesn't reintegrate, I think it could be a 6-month time job, and we just get through it with Ekitike, with a rotation of Ekitike, Wits on the left. Maybe Gapco plays a little bit down the middle. Maybe we just do that rotation for the first 6 months. But I just feel that this guy's a unicorn. Like, there's no one who can do all the types of play in the forward line that Slot wants. Like, Ekitike is a sensational player, but for me, he's still a little bit unproven. Like, you're going for a guy that's been there, done it. Like, he's been top of the pile almost. Like, he was behind Haaland not last year, the year before, and then he was behind Salah this time around. And if you look at the numbers, there's only him and Salah that are kind of match and match in the Premier League for goals. So I just think that one is unbelievable to get done. But what I did want to talk about is, how on earth are we going to get Mark Guehi and Leone for less than 70 million for the pair? Like, that is sensational business. That's the one I wanted to talk about, because the defense was the biggest problem I've got. Because if we lose Virgil van Dijk or Konate, we're down to Gomez, who's never fit, and that's the one that worried me. But to be able to get Guehi and this kid Leone, who looks a bit like a little bit of a regen of Dean Huijsen, who we tried to get previous year as well. That looks like another one that could be on the conveyor belt to greatness. But to be able to get the pair of them for less than 70 million, I think that's a brilliant bit of business as well by Liverpool.
Yeah, fantastic. Especially I don't know much about the young lad, but I've read some really good things about him. KMACK, listen, my bro, always a pleasure to sit and speak football with you.
Mate, you're not getting Baleba. You can't get Baleba. You can't get Baleba.
We'll see. Well, this was interesting. If he is 100+ million, then you're definitely spending more than that. If we have to pay 110 for him, you're definitely paying much more than that for Isak, because he's a striker.
You've got to give 20% to Lille as well. You know that.
Well, but Brighton.
So that's probably why the price is higher than what you probably want to pay.
True.
But Manchester United as well. Like, the thing that makes me laugh is, you've always been the biggest spenders. You've always been the biggest wage spenders. Like, you're always up there right at the top. And it doesn't matter where you're finishing league, you still are up there. So you're top of the table there all the time, mate, okay? And you still are.
Wow. We've actually, City and Chelsea have spent more than us in the Premier League era. And in fact, a nice little fact for you. During Fergie's time in the Premier League, Liverpool spent more money than Man United did.
We were all trying to catch it.
But this is the point I'm making, is clubs the size of Man United and Liverpool have, for the last 40+ years, have and will always spend some of the biggest money in the league. It's just about spending it correctly. KMACK, legend, mate. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it a lot, bro. We'll speak again soon. Cheers, bro. Thank you. Kay is on with us now. Kane, sorry. He's a Newcastle fan. Yes, mate. He's not worth 150. He's not worth 150.
Yeah, that just stinks of elitism, really. I just had a look, actually, and apparently a team in 5th can't sell players for a lot. But when we look at Coutinho, who went for £142 million, Liverpool were 4th when that happened, and they were miles away from Man City, who were leading at the time, after rejecting a bid of 118 million. which is I found interesting. So apparently it can be done. Will it be done? That's a different question. But yeah, again, it just thinks of elitism. It just thinks of, well, we're Liverpool. You'll take what we give you, and you'll be happy about it. And I think Newcastle will dig their heels in. But I'm not really here to talk about Isak because he's dead to me. No, he's not really. I think he's left though, and so. But I'm more excited about coming on for once and actually celebrating signings for Newcastle.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to ask you about the Ramsey link because it was a little bit out of nowhere for me. I hadn't seen links to it myself personally. He had a good year at Villa, but how happy are you with this? I mean, it's practically done according to Ben Jacobs and should be over the line very, very soon.
Very happy. We've been linked to him in the past, and this goes back to what I was saying to you. I think like one of the first few calls I had with you in terms of our focus on targets we've already been to. I think that's why a lot of people linked us to Gehi this season, even though I think we quite quickly just sort of walked away from that one without even attempting it. But yeah, we've been monitoring Ramsey for a while now. Very good player. I think injuries and the other players in Aston Villa's midfield, which have been really good the last few seasons, I think is sort of stifled his growth. But very good player. He can pick up the ball from deep and drive, which will sort of replace, or we can use in rotation with Joe Linton on the games that he can't play or is injured. Because one of the things what people are failing to see is we are strengthening our squad this season. Yeah, getting those high-profile strikers would have been really nice and would have served as a nice replacement for Isak if he went. But we're on the back end. We've brought in Alanga, so we've now got two decent options at right wing. We brought in Ramsdale for 4 million. That was a good, solid upgrade on Pope, in my opinion. And then we've got Malik Chow from AC Milan, who, as you said, rejected you, as well as Bayern Munich and Juventus, which I think, if we go by transfer logic, makes us bigger than all three of you now. Is that right? Because apparently, if players rejecting you is this other teams for you means you're bigger. I believe that's how it works, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 3-1 this summer, but yeah,
yeah.
3-1.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a consolation. You got a consolation goal at the end, Kane.
I've got to get in when I can. I've got to get in when I can. But no, obviously that's not what it means. But no, a very good defender, very young, high ceiling. Again, another person we targeted last year, and Eddie Howe really likes. And again, upgrades Fabian Schär, and then yeah, Ramsey's another one. Onto potentially Visser. I saw Bournemouth have got their replacement for Ouattara, which means he goes to Brentford, which means Visser can come to Newcastle, and then we'll see. We'll see what the bid comes in.
It's all coming together nicely now, then.
Well, yeah, I didn't really have any sort of worries that it wouldn't. I guess what we'll see now after the Visser bid, if that gets accepted and over the line, then we'll see what the Liverpool bid is, and then based on that, if we may sell, we may sell Isak, we may not, and if so, we'll find a replacement. But yeah, I'm optimistic about the season. I was saying in the chat, I think low-key Newcastle, albeit with all the rejections and the Isak saga, I think Newcastle have had an actually good season in terms of recruitment-wise, because if we get the signings we've that look likely, plus the striker, if we lose Isak, then we have two in every position of a decent enough quality that we can still compete in Champions League and do well in the Premier League, because people seem to forget, other than Isak, we've kept all of the starting 11 from last year, and they're only going to get better, and it's a top quality starting 11.
Listen, I like some of the deals that you're doing. I didn't think it was the end of the world not getting certain players or losing people, and you link some really talented players, and take that Isak money, buy some quality with it, galvanize the team, and move on. Kane, always a pleasure, mate, to speak, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Top man, thank you. Chris is on with us now. What are you saying, Chris?
Hello there, Terry. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, mate.
Yeah, just talking about the Eze deal. I saw a report from the London Standard about 3-4 days ago saying that Arsenal had already agreed a deal with Crystal Palace for around £55 million for Eze, with 30 to £35 million being paid up front. So if this is true, I'm not sure quite how Spurs are going to turn his head, because a player of Eze's quality surely wants to be fighting for a place within a top squad rather than just walking into a top squad, being the top player straight away. Surely if he's as good as he thinks he is, he reckons he can take that top spot.
Yeah, look, how do you see this going? So I'm not sure about the report. I didn't read that one personally, but you know, there's been a few rumors like that. If both clubs make bids and if both clubs get bids accepted and both clubs offer personal terms and squad status and stuff to Eze, where do you personally see him picking and why?
I don't want to write off Tottenham because I'm not disrespectful like that, even though they're my arch rivals and my arch nemesis. But I think we are the most attractive prospect for him. We're going to, in my opinion, going to be fighting with Liverpool and Manchester City for the top spot this year. We're going to be fighting in the Champions League, which Spurs are as well. We'll be fighting in the Champions League, but I don't think they've quite got there yet to be able to compete within the Champions League quite seriously, as much as Arsenal do. So I think for his own personal development, surely he's going to be wanting to play with the better players and fighting for his place. And I agree with you that he has got the ability to drop Odegaard, drop Martinelli, and really cement himself as an Arsenal player.
Yeah, listen, I agree. I think he can oust all of the, barring Saka. He could put any one of your attacking midfielders or left attack wingers on the bench. I think he is legitimately that good. I think he is legitimately of that level. And I mean this with the utmost respect to Tottenham for trying to sign him, but Arsenal cannot let this happen. I think on a footballing level, on a PR level, on a rivalry level, this is something you have to stop. You absolutely have to stop from happening. Chris, always a pleasure, mate, to speak. Great call. Thank you.
The other thing I was going to say as well regarding that is also he's a Hale End product.
He is.
So that should
help. That
be double negative for Arsenal if we let him go to Spurs.
Absolutely. Chris, legend for coming on. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. And we've got a little treat for everybody coming up next. Thank you, Chris. Eye test. Man like Ali's with us. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's a little bit funny. It's a little bit funny that a couple years ago, when I mentioned Isak, you didn't know who he was. And you tried to make out like he's just a trash player. And now every single...
Right, I'm going to put you backstage, Ali, because I told you about lying on the Football Terrace. Didn't say he was a trash player. What I said is that I didn't think at the time he was better than Erling Haaland, and he wasn't. So I'm going to bring you back on, but can you not lie, please, and tell the truth about that conversation?
Yeah, it's just funny that every video is titled Isak now. We've come a long way. But anyway, forget about that. Let's not.
Isak. So I will address this. Isak has certainly come a long way. And what I will say to you with you being on here, because I'll keep it 100, he has become a better player than I thought he would be. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. He has done. Well done to you for spotting this. But what we can't do is misrepresent what the conversations were about when we were talking. Your argument was that he was better than Erling Haaland, and he wasn't. And there is still an argument to say Haaland still scores a lot more goals than him, and a lot of people would still sign Erling Haaland over him. So that was more what the debate was about than anything else. And I stand on what I said at the time. At that time in his career, he had fouled certain other clubs and was moving around. He's now come back. He's worked hard. He's a fantastic player. I think he's going to get this big money move to Liverpool. He's a brilliant player. My only issue that I've had with you is that you've misrepresented the argument and you kept on, you leave out, I think, the most important part of what we were debating, and that was your claim that 4 years ago that he was light years better than Erling Haaland, which I still to this day stand on. So that was an incorrect statement then. So that was the only issue with it. But let's put that to bed. Okay, let's put that to bed. What do you want to say today?
I want to say, why should Isak show loyalty to Newcastle? And another thing I want to address is, I watched True Geordie's video. He's trying to make out like they made Isak. Are you crazy? You never made Isak. What are you talking about? I knew Isak way before Newcastle United. He had talent from day one. There's no reason for him to stay loyal to Newcastle. And I don't understand why players should stay loyal to their clubs. Because if Isak was, let's say Isak didn't work out well, he had injuries throughout his time at Newcastle, they wouldn't stay loyal to him. Why should these players stay loyal to these £1 billion cooperation? Why should they stay loyal? You should do what's best for you and what's best for your own career. I don't blame Isak for how he's moving. He's doing what's best for him, and he wants to elevate his career. Imagine he does stay loyal. He does stay at Newcastle, and one day he's going to look back thinking, man, I could have won Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, but because I stayed loyal to this club, I'm trophyless. Look at Harry Kane. He left it too late, you know?
So that element, what I'll say is this. I do agree with you that players shouldn't have to be loyal consistently forever, because clubs are not. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. The one element I would challenge, and I'm going to get asked to get involved as a Newcastle fan on this, is the Newcastle have to be credited. Eddie Howe has to be credited with a big percentage of his development, because the thing is this: you have started to talk about, I told you so, look what he's blossomed into. You have literally said words to that effect on the show and on socials. He wasn't blossoming into what he is now at other clubs. There were still big question marks. Now, you saw the potential, and that's fair, right? You've seen the potential of what he could become. But surely we all agree that joining the right club, having the right coaching to finally unearth that potential and get the best out of him, surely Newcastle, I test, deserve at least some credit for that.
I mean, I'll give them credit for giving him the platform and letting him show what he's about, but I think he would have achieved that potential no matter what. I saw it in him from day one, from when he was in Sweden in AIK. I followed him from them days, and I saw what he did in Holland when he broke the record for most goals in his first 11 games in the Eredivisie. I saw it from day one. Newcastle aren't the reason why he's the best, one of the best strikers in the world right now.
Do you know what?
They're not.
But why I've got to challenge you is this, though. This is why what you're saying is bullshit, and this is why I deleted the video, just because I was sick and tired of the way you...
it, please.
No, because you keep lying. So you came on this show, okay, and you made another claim once upon a time, and that was that Eden Hazard, when he goes to Real Madrid, will surpass what Cristiano Ronaldo achieved there. You said that, yes?
I don't think that was me. I think that was AI.
No,
I think that was AI.
Definitely you. You said he will surpass him and be more successful. And when it didn't happen, and we asked you why, you blamed a litany of things, a little bit of injuries, but you blamed the club and the system and the managers. You blamed all these things, which is fair. You're allowed to do that. And this is why I'm calling you out. You're giving a little bit of credit to Newcastle for helping develop a player because you saw it in him and he would have made it anyway. But when it comes to Eden Hazard, that you used to say was better than Cristiano Ronaldo, the club and the hierarchy, the training and the managers were the same very reason that he didn't succeed. My issue with that is they are complete opposites of one another. Both cannot exist in your mindset at the same time. It's a logical, there's a flaw in that logic. It's either that if you're going to blame management and the running of a club on Eden Hazard, you have to give credit to Newcastle for unearthing the talent and nurturing the talent of Isak. It can't just be, well, one was always going to do it and the other one wasn't. Which is it, my friend?
With Hazard, it was injuries. It was injuries. He, in the Premier League, luckily he wasn't very injury prone, but he was one of the players who received the most tackles in the Prem, and I think that caught up to him at Real Madrid. And that's why he didn't succeed at Real Madrid. Also, a little bit of his professionalism. He came back late after pre-season overweight. But I think that was the reason with Eden Hazard. With Isak, yes, Newcastle do deserve a little bit of credit. They do. I'm not going to lie. But for me, like I said earlier, I think players should look out for themselves. Because if it came to it, the clubs won't look out for you. The clubs will not look out for you. Why should you stay loyal to these clubs? Unless you were born in Newcastle, you were born and raised in Newcastle. I understand why you would be loyal to your hometown club, but he's not from Newcastle. He wasn't raised in Newcastle. He has no reason to be loyal to Newcastle United. He should do what's best for him, and he will regret not leaving Newcastle if he doesn't leave. He will regret being trophyless. No Premier League titles, no Champions Leagues. He will regret it. And he has to do what's best for him, not what's best for Newcastle.
Okay, Ali, I listened to what you've said. Ash, who's a Newcastle fan, what have you got to say to this in response?
First of all, don't say it's trophyless because we just won a trophy, so that's already bollocks. We need to change the title of this show to flipping the Isak Waffle Show, because holy crap, the amount of waffle that I've heard on this stream is insane. Absolutely insane. I was literally driving my car back from the local tip because I had some boxes to drop off. And the stuff that I was hearing from this flipping the Liverpool fan going on about that he's not worth 110 mil or whatever, 120 mil. That's a joke. Isak, right? I'm going to tell you right now, you can't say anything about injuries, because when we had him in our first season, he got injured pretty much straight off the bat. So he only played, I think it was like 22 games in that first season we had him, scored 10 goals. The season before we got him from Sociedad, he scored 6 goals in the whole of the campaign. So what are you going to say? He was a prolific scorer. He had eyes on him the season before because he scored, I think it was 17 goals in 34 games. I think it was his record. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what's going on here. Like, guys, are we trying to downsell flipping Isak? Does someone know some contacts that's going to get a lower price from or something? Because what's going on here? He is literally one of, if not the best striker in world football right now. I would love to have asked that Liverpool fan what he thinks Erling Haaland's worth, because I bet he wouldn't have said flipping 100 million for him. Baleba's 115. Like, come on, guys, let's just let's get our thoughts back in check here. Isak definitely worth 150 million. No, nothing less.
I hear that. What do you make to what I test, aka his new name is now Isak FC. By the way, he puts his profile picture as a Newcastle player. This man pretends to be a Man United fan, but he's repping a player of another club. I find this to be atrocious behaviour. By the way,
with a Newcastle shirt on as well.
Yeah, it's sacrilegious. It's sacrilegious. It's anti-football, I believe, picking players over clubs. But what do you make of his point that he shouldn't show any loyalty to Newcastle, and he shouldn't? You know, you barely developed him. He owes you nothing, and he shouldn't show you any loyalty. First
of all, there should always be a level of loyalty towards a club if you don't have a release clause or something like that. I get you need to take what Eddie Howe and the coaching staff, Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall, what he has done for Isak's progression, not just Isak. You think Jacob Murphy from like Sheffield Wednesday, how he was there to the levels he's at right now, where Jacob Murphy's getting 20 goals and assists last season. Like, that's crazy. Every single player you will see in our squad has got so much better. Every single one. Isak's levels have gone up being under Eddie Howe. Granted, yes, and there's not a single way that a Newcastle club wins in this situation, because if we lose Isak, we're losing an unbelievable player. But what he's done, he's soured his taste with the fans. So I think, and the club, to be honest, he's disrespected his teammates by basically going on his holiday to flipping Real Sociedad after saying he had a knee injury, which I don't know how real that was. There's loyalty to a club is different nowadays, because I get what you're saying. You can't really have loyalty to a club to an extent where if you're not born there, being born there, you get different loyalty to a club in that respect. Like, say, Alan Shearer came back because of his home club, where, listen, if he went to Man United, he probably would have scored more goals and won more trophies. That's not a debate. Isak has a loyalty to us in the respect that he has a contract, and he's still got 3 years left of his contract. He can't just go to sell his house, live on the streets, try and force a move to Liverpool, because you're still under contract with us. It's disrespectful to the club, to the manager, to the teammates, and it sets a terrible precedent for any player that's at a high caliber around the world. You should not be allowed to just do this. It's terrible.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, I test back to you. What do you want to say?
You look say Newcastle helped Isak. They made him what he is. I say he made Newcastle what you are today. You lot never won a trophy in 70 years. 70 years, huh? You should be thanking Isak. Isak shouldn't be thanking Newcastle. You lot should be thanking Isak. That's your best striker ever. That's this guy. Since Shearer, at least. Okay, I'll be fair. Since Shearer, your best player ever. He won you your first trophy in 70 years. You lot should be thankful to Isak. You lot should be loyal to Isak. Isak doesn't owe you anything. He elevated you lot. He made you what you are today. Even Shearer never delivered the trophy for you lot. Isak did. Isak did. Remember that. Don't ever dare boo him. Don't ever dare boo him. He delivered you a trophy.
You cannot say this. Don't do that. You're just ignoring everyone else. It wasn't just Isak part of that team. We're not a one-man team. We don't have... It's not like you're just forgetting everyone else. Bruno is literally one of the best midfielders in world football. He, if anything, is the one who carried us.
Isak, let's see how Bruno carries you and Isak leaves. Let's see how good you lot are. Let's see how good you lot are without Isak.
I mean,
let's see if you win a trophy.
I mean, we need strikers. That's like, of course, like at the end of the day, if we lose Isak, we still need two strikers in because we're.
Can I ask you a question though, I-Test? And this is, are you still a Manchester United fan, or have you changed teams?
He doesn't support any team.
I'm a football fan. I'm a football fan.
Because the reason I ask you the question is you always proclaimed to be a Man United fan before. Who are you? If he goes to Liverpool, surely then you'll want Isak to fail because Liverpool are our biggest rivals, yes?
No, I want him to do good. I want him to do good.
So who do you want to have a better season? Alexander Isak at Liverpool or your own striker Šeško at Manchester United? Who do you want to have the better season, hand on heart?
Alexander Isak, that's my guy from day one. I knew this guy. I knew him from day one. That's my guy.
Bro,
I never turn on Isak. I never turn on Isak.
Can you send me your address? I will buy you a Newcastle shirt with Isak on the back. Because
I've already got a couple.
Yeah, I bet you do.
See, this is the thing. This is what you know. You know what? I know Staffy's watching, Staffy, and it doesn't matter. Ali's from the UK. You live here, right? You're English like me, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I didn't want to assume, but I thought you were. We had that conversation 5 years ago. This is my issue here, right? It's not just North Americans that get called out for this. This is what's wrong with the modern day game. You don't support a team. You pick players over the side that you used to come on the show for years, cussing off the club and Man United and how bad it's run, pretending to be a United fan. Now you would rather Isak at Liverpool have a better season than Šeško at Man United.
Can I address that?
That is everything that is wrong. Everything that is wrong with modern day football.
I'll explain it to you.
Listen, the current UK government puts you in prison for hate crimes, for texting bad things online, right? We're not going to get into rights or wrongs of that. I think it should become a classified hate crime to support a football player over a club. There should be a fucking prison sentence for it.
Okay, let me explain it to you. For me, let's be real. Football is an entertainment. We watch football for entertainment. Same way we watch a TV series for entertainment. Let's say I'm a fan of a TV series, yeah? And it's amazing, the first 2 series. And then the third series, it becomes dead. The 4th series, it becomes dead. I'm going to cheat on that TV series and move to another TV series. I'm not going to be a fan, continue being a fan of that TV series. No, I'm going to continue.
No, you're not going to continue, because that's just not how football has ever worked. The point of football has always been you pick a team, okay? And traditionally, people used to pick their local teams, but then football clubs changed that. Football clubs changed that by how they did preseason tours. Man United had a 50,000 strong London supporters club in the 1950s. People think it was a Premier League thing. It wasn't. That was due to the beautiful game that was played. As an example, also the tragedy helped grow a global audience for the club because of the affinity people felt, and so on and so forth for multiple clubs around the world. So it's grown now and it's international. But you pick a team and you stick by it. I don't care that there isn't a rule book that says this. It's an unwritten rule that you pick a team and you support them. And you support them through the good times. You support them through the bad times. Sometimes that support is you cheer them on and you clap them. Sometimes that support is you slag them off. You cane them a little bit. You give them what for, and you demand better standards. But what you don't do is go, well, I'm bored of how they're playing right now. I'm going to move on to this team or doing this.
Because it's about value. I'm trying to seek entertainment. And it's the same thing with your wife. Let me explain.
I don't want to hear it. I'll be blunt with you. I don't care if people hate me for saying this. I don't want to hear it. Go and go and watch tennis then, when you can switch players. Go and watch boxing where you can switch fighters. Football, the whole reason it's the entertainment that you get is the noise from the crowds. The reason that millions of people watch it isn't because if you could just switch teams whenever you felt like it or whatever, it wouldn't have grown to be the sport that it is. It's the dedication to one team, one set of fans, one club, one city, one nation at times versus another. That rivalry. If you just remove all of that because everybody's jumping ship when they get bored, you kill the sport. The sport is gone. You have to have it. It's a ridiculous.
But I'm not getting the entertainment anymore. The value.
Ali, if everybody followed your notion, 10 years time, football's dead. It's over. It's finished. It's finished.
Ali, can you tell me this? Who are you going to support in the World Cup?
In the World Cup, I'm not sure yet. I'll see closer to
the fact he doesn't know what he means is I'm going to support I know who he's going to pick. He's going to support the team that at the time is most likely to win it, so he can sit on socials and say my nation has won it. He's the definition of a glory hunter. Now listen, I'm from London. Okay. I support.
Let me elaborate.
I'm not having the conversation. What you're doing is not right in football. I don't care if I sound like a gatekeeper. I don't care how it comes across. Your way of supporting football, I think, is a disgrace.
No, for me, it's about value, and United are not providing entertainment anymore, which is what I seek. The same way what I was about to say, like for me, if you're not providing what you initially, hold on, let me explain. If you're not providing what you initially provided me, I'm gonna leave. Like if I have a wife, as soon as my wife, after she turns 40 and she turns ugly and wrinkly, I'm gonna leave her because she's not providing the value she did when she was 30 or 20. You know, she has wrinkles now, she has grey hair. So Ali, it's about value.
So Ali, what you're gonna do then? So if you're with a woman and you've been with her for 20 years and she's now in her 40s or 50s, if you've been blessed by God and you've been given children and she has given birth to them and she has raised them and nurtured them and she looked after all of you, the second that she becomes a little older and a little grayer, all of that work that you've done together, the life that she's helped you guys build together, you're just going to kick her into touch because there is a better looking model elsewhere. If that's your notion, if you fall out of love with someone, if the relationship becomes toxic, fair enough. But that is not the same as a football team. You're allowed to do what you want, by the way, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. But the problem is that's why one area I'll give you respect, Ali, is that at least you come on and say what you actually think. I think there are a lot of YouTubers and a lot of other football fans that are the same as you. They pick teams based on value. And I don't think it's entertainment either. It's who are the team that I can support, that I can gloat the most about. My team does this. My team wins this. My team plays this way. Look how great we are. I see a lot of Man United fans online that I know, I believe for a fact, I don't know, but I believe, pick Man United when we were in our pomp and are now they're angry, not because Man United are in a bad space. They're angry because they don't have something they can gloat with. They started making YouTube about it, so they've tussled themselves to that club and they can't get away from it. People like yourself are terrible for this sport on a real level. But Ali, thanks for calling in and having your say, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. In fairness, I'm more upset about his football comment than his wife's comment, because no one's going to marry this man anyway. Like, no one is willingly going to marry this man. So he's going to have to do a fritzel or something. But there we go. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in today. I'm sorry to a few more people that are backstage. Andrew, Winter Surfer, I'm sorry, bruv. We're back for Straight Facts in about 3:30 today. We're going to be back live. So we're going to see you all then with two people that actually support football clubs, that stick to supporting those football clubs. Football is about the journey you take with the team, not value. What made Klopp special is us Liverpool fans, is because when he took us from, this is the irony of it as well. The teams that are now entertaining him that he's supporting, they wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't be where they are without the loyal supporters, because a lot of the times the owners that want to buy these clubs do it because they've got a loyal support and a big support. We can grow from that and become bigger. They wouldn't even be those teams without the loyal supporters. So if everybody behaved that way, there'd never be a new team that becomes good. Well, ironically, what would happen if everybody was like that? There'd be 5 or 6 teams in the whole world that get supported. The rest would go out of business and football would die. It's ridiculous. It can't be done. Thank you all. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Fuck me, Pink. And I'll see you all again.